The bustling ITV studio in London crackles with that quintessentially British morning energy on a drizzly October Wednesday in 2025, the sun struggling to pierce the Thames fog as the This Morning set, adorned with its signature floral backdrops and steaming mugs of builder's tea, prepares for a guest that's guaranteed to brew a storm. Prince Harry, the 41-year-old Duke of Sussex, poised in a chic camel coat that nods to his Montecito minimalism, his ginger locks loosely tousled to evoke approachable allure. Host Dermot O'Leary, the 52-year-old Irish charmer in a vibrant teal shirt that matches his no-nonsense spark, bounds out with his trademark warmth, the audience, a mix of loyal locals and tabloid tourists waving "This Morning Magic" placards, erupting in cheers as he belts a quick, "Good morning, darlings." Harry glides in next, enveloped in Dermot's famously firm hug, the pair trading air kisses before settling into the plush interview nook, mugs clinking like old chums. He's here to launch his bold new Archwell endeavor, Voices Unbound, a digital platform fusing podcasts, AR experiences, and community forums for global veteran storytelling, inspired by his own silenced seasons in the spotlight. Dermot kicks off with his affable ease. "Harry, from polo pitches to podcast power, now this. You're unstoppable. Spill on how Meghan's holding the fort while you conquer the chat." Laughter ripples as Harry dives into domestic delights. Archie, 6, his newfound love for British biscuits after a Highland fling with Mummy. Lilibet, 4, her wee warrior, tantrums over toy tiaras that rival Granny's gems. The flow's flawless for 12 minutes. Clips cascade of Harry moderating virtual vigils with Afghan activists, his voiceover vowing, "Unbound voices build unbreakable worlds." Dermot nods vigorously. "As a dad myself, I get the juggle. How do ye keep the crown jewels shiny amid the chaos?" Harry chuckles about jam jars gone global via American Riviera orchard, Dermot quipping on his own baking blunders. "Burnt scones are my specialty." It's a transatlantic tea party, the crowd cooing in collective camaraderie, until Dermot, ever the straight-talking showman with a reporter's nose for news, leans forward, his eyes twinkling with that interviewer's incision honed over 20 years of morning mayhem. "Right, mate, this platform's pure gold, empowering the everyday extraordinary. But let's beat about the bush. The headlines howl you're hawking royal remnants, from Spare's scorched pages to this app airing ancestral angst while King Charlie battles the big C and Will's shoulders the Windsor weight alone. Is Voices Unbound just another unbound grudge, or have ye finally furled the family flag?" The studio's bonhomie evaporates like evaporating espresso. A palpable pause punctuates the air, audience antennae twitching as Harry's grin glitches, his fingers furling around his mug's handle in a micro gesture of mounting metal. He exhales evenly, riposte refined yet resolute. "Dermot, unbound isn't unbridled, it's unburdened. I've unshackled stories the system stifled, including mine, to spare my sprogs the same shackles." Spare wasn't grudge, it was grace note, for the voiceless veiled by velvet ropes. Critique from Cozy Crofts easy, "I've shouldered the spotlight's shards." Dermot, unyielding as a Highland gale, volleys with a wry wag of his finger, grace note. "Och, it was a grenade, Harry, grenading Grand's legacy for Netflix nickels while we watch the firm fracture." Unbound voices. "Aye, but yours echo endless exile, time tae tie the tongue on the tiara tails, is the vendetta vocation." Murmurs metastasize, the floor manager fidgets, a producer's headset hums faintly. Harry's gaze hardens to Highland frost, tone tempering to tempered thunder. "Vendetta, try valor, Dermot, valor against veiled vitriol that vilified my very breath. Ye jest from jovial jamboree, I've jousted with jackals that jeopardized my joes." This platform persists for the powerless, punchlines. The parry escalates, Dermot lobbing, leaked lashing, lore on Harry's, monarch meddling, Harry mustering miscarriages of justice and media maelstroms that midwifed his mission. The audience atomizes, half huzzahing his heroism, half hissing the histrionics. Abruptly, Harry materializes momentum, ascending with aristocratic aplomb. "Dermot, lights lit the lure, I've voiced enough for one vista. Team, ta muchly for the terrace, telly fans, dive into Unbound for the unvarnished." He unclips his lavalier with lithe legerdemain, pivots on patent pumps, and parades offset, his procession parting the production like plaid-clad Moses, security shadowing his swift sortie as Dermot, left lingering mid-lilt, laments to lens with a laugh. "Well, that's the kettle callin', stay tuned, troops." Feeds flee to fillers, backstage bustle bordering on bedlam, headsets herding harried handlers, while Harry's motorcade motors him to a Mayfair muse, Meghan's hotline humming, "Harry, ye were a lion, lasso o' love awaitin'." X ignites an incendiary ignition, Hashtag Harry kicked off this morning trends transatlantic in ticks, pilfered punter pics propelling to 25 million metrics, memes marrying his march to Rule Britannia, remixed with bagpipes. Royal Ragers roar, Piers Morgan postures, O'Leary's knockout on the Ken Speckle. Via his podcast Podium, Omid Scobie scorches, Irish shade ambush, hashtag Duke dignified. Dermot live tweets lifeline, fiery Philly, that one, fair play, but facts first. This dust up, no, naff natter, it's a north of the border nuclear, where a presenter's pith pierces a prince's panoply, plotting morning telly's most mesmerizing mutiny. As Albion's arches awaken, one ordinance orates, when Harry meets Dermot, kicks Aaron AAFF, their AFF kilter, kindling kingdom's kiln. As gloaming gilds the gherkin in Glasgow gold, the O'Leary-Harry kerfuffle on this morning burgeons into a broadcast bushfire, blistering billboards from Broadcasting House to Beverly Hills, where viral vignettes vivisect the verbal vortex, spawning schisms that splinter socials and synapses in a spectacle spanning siesta to supper. ITV's inner sanctum seethes with strategic scrimmage, dailies dissected for damage diagnostics, Dermot lounging with a latte in his tartan, replaying the riposte with a roguish rumble, the lad's got lungs, but legacies linger, served it straight, say TAE speak. The sequel segment surges with seasoned savvy, Dermot leading the levy, troops, Harry's moxie's magnetic, my nudge was naff, but nuance nourishes the narrative. The panel pivots, guest Gabby Logan lauding his lion-hearted launch, but Dermot locks the lore, unbound. Brilliant, but baggage burdens the bard, no, nay shade, all salute TAE the spirit. The unfiltered uproar unleashes Unbound via Bleacher broadcasts, 100 million metrics by Moontide, TikTok taunting Harry's might miss at 13:27 sync to Scotland the Brave, bagpipe blasts, X's hashtag Dermot dunks Harry netting 5.7 million missives morphing his mug to Macbeth mid-monologue. Harry's homebound on a Gulfstream ghost, ensconced in clouds, unleashing an Archwell advisory that's arsenic ambrosia, grateful for this morning's vigor, Dermot's spice sparked scrutiny, but Invictus endures undented. Voices voyage victorious, empathy isn't elective. App downloads detonate 550%, devotees drilling into demos in defiant solidarity, Meghan melting into him at touchdown with a murmured, my unbound, my unbreakable, kilt ye nay. Palace proxies percolate prickles, the sun splatters, Duke dumps on defender. Headlines, Charles's, courtiers confiding, exasperated, exhalations over, endless echoes, Williams whisper network winking at, weary of the wine. Late-night luminaries leap, Graham Norton notches a royal reel remix, with Dermot as Loch Nessie, quipping, Harry scarpered swifter than Selkie, O'Leary's the real Highland fling, as James Corden counters with crown-clashing caber tosses. Viewership for this morning vaults 55%, overlords toasting the Tempest tonic, while Archwell activates, voices versus vendettas, a no-cost nexus for navigating naysayers, transmuting toxin to tutorial. Dermot's cadre counters with class. Post-tape DMs dispatched. His, slice the suspense, Highness, sorry for the sting, sequel sit down. Harry's, appreciated the audition, Dermot, let's app the amends. Ripples radiate raw. Vet orgs ovate the optics boost for adaptive aids, feminist feeds frame it as, matron versus monarch, misogyny unmasked, conservative corners crow, carping Californian curbed. Paparazzi prowl Heathrow for his landing, but decoy details deflect the dazzle, Harry homing into Hearth with hallowed hikes alongside Archie. By cocktail hour, the Sussex strategy synthesizes a swift Spotify surge, episode 1 excerpted, from Clash to Catalyst, owning the off switch. Dermot, kibitzing at a Kensington curry house, confides to cronies, he's steel-wrapped in silk, stung, but stimulated. The babble burgeons. Reddit realms rage on. Royal riposts revisited, viral vignettes vine the volley to villainous violin swells. Beneath the bedlam, a bedrock revelation, this wasn't wanton war but a window to wounded worlds, where a broadcaster's broadside bolsters a broadcaster's broadcast. No necks snapped, but narratives neck and neck, O'Leary's oratory outsized as oracle, Harry's heroism honed in the heat. As Aurora kisses the Atlantic, the afterburn affirms, when Prince's dual presenters, discourse detonates deeper, and the demos. Devours of the drama distilled into digestible dynamite. This imbroglio, not inferno, incendiary ignition, illuminating infamy into insight. Tune the transom, the telegraphs telegraphing tempests. Lunar cycles later, as November's nip nuzzles the nape of naked branches from Notting Hill to Napa Valley, The O'Leary-Harry odyssey has ossified into an opus of olive branches and onward odysseys, ossifying outrage into opulent opportunity that orients orbits from op-ed pages to oracle apps across the Anglosphere. Harry, monarch of his milieu, microphones the voices, milestone mixer in a sun-soaked Santa Barbara soiree, luminaries like Reese Witherspoon toasting his tenacity, from TV tussle to truth titan, you turned tantrum into testament. Streams shatter ceilings, Spotify spotlighting the series as Savage Summer Scorcher, with a sequel solicited blending British bites from reconciled royals. Dermot, king of his corral, curates a Clash Classics corner on his show, revisiting the ruckus with roundtable ruminations, his opener orating, humbled the air. Hell yes, but hats off to Harry's heart, the lad's got Highland soul. Audience adulation amplifies, ITV tabulating triumph with transatlantic tie-ins, as he hatches a humanitarian hook, co-hosting an Archwell 8-a-thon for media literacy, his gravelly gravitas grounding the gala. Palace partitions part incrementally, Camilla's column in Country Life coups, Conversations cook character, couriering cryptic Christmas cards, William's Windsor walkabout winks at, family forums flourish from friction. Social spheres simmer to solidarity. Hashtag Harry Dermot men fan cams sync their quips to harmonious hooks, birthing playlist phenomena on Spotify. ITV launches Morning Bites, a foodie spin-off with Dermot as host, first guest. A reconciled Harry, trading jabs for jam tastings in a 20-minute special that trends. For tenderness, broader bouquets bloom, Women's Network's host panels on, public poise under fire, citing the Clash as curriculum, app blogs boom with Harry Method, tutorials, sales spiking 150%. Legal lint balls brushed aside, no shade thrown, just shade-grown herbs in Meghan's garden plots. As November's chill nips, the Sussexes host a harvest bash, Dermot jetting in for pie and poker, quipping mid-pie, Prince, next time we argue over recipes, not regrets. Laughter lingers long after last call. Harry reflects in a Vogue profile, that morning. A need in the road, stronger batter, bolder bakes. Dermot, penning his next stand-up, turned a tart into a tartan, slice of life. The explosive exchange evolved from eruption to essence, distilling how humor and heart harmonize when egos expand. Harry's ledger, lavishly ledged, legacy layered with loaves of liberation. Dermot's, sizzling, satirist supreme with a softer sous vide. In this confection of confrontation turned confectionery, the sweetest takeaway surfaces, fiery fallouts ferment finer futures, where mics mute into meaningful munchies. No one's kicked off, the island forever, TV's a tasting menu, and grudges go great with ganache. So cheers to late-night lava that cools into caramel conundrums, to dukes who dust off and dazzle anew. Prince Harry's O'Leary ouster, not a mishap, but a masterpiece in meringue, light, lofty, and leaving us hungry for seconds. And if morning escapism's your elixir, savor this, the script's spiced, the oven's on.